Right, yes. So, Medical Realities. I'm Steve Dann. I'm the co-founder of Medical Realities. And Medical Realities is all about actually creating a virtual reality medical platform. But the first stage in that is that we're actually creating a lot of virtual reality training of surgeons. Getting to train using virtual reality and augmented reality. This is going to help solve a big problem in the world today. Basically, there's too many people, not enough surgeons. Right now, out of 7 billion people, 5 billion people in the planet don't get access to affordable or can't get access to affordable or good surgical procedures. To solve that problem, right now, we need an extra 2.2 million surgeons. It's only going to get worse because every year there's a requirement for another 143 million operations every year, because as we get older, we live longer, unfortunately, we're going to need more operations. In the UK, it takes a long time to train a surgeon. It takes a long time to train a consulting surgeon. You've got university, you've got post-university, and then you've got the actual surgical training process. And in actual fact, the whole process takes 15 years to completion. So that's a long time to invest in training the best surgeons. Unfortunately, the training of surgeons hasn't really changed for about 120 years. They're called operating theatres for a reason, because they used to be like theatres, where people used to actually go and watch surgeons practice and do surgery. And in actual fact, you used to be able to go out and have a Saturday night out watching the latest operation if you wanted to. Now, the problem with this model is that it's pretty good, but it's just not scalable. It's not scalable if you have to train lots and lots of new surgeons. There are some products that actually help right now. There are simulators. The simulators are very expensive. There's also personal training, but again, that's just not scalable. And of course, there's textbooks and flat screens and things like that, but that actually only gives you a small part of the equation. So we've come up with the idea of using virtual reality to help train surgeons. We strongly believe in virtual reality, as everybody in this room probably knows now, that sort of 2016 is the year of virtual reality. It's really taking off. The market's set to explode. The figures are all up there. I think the Google Cardboard, I can't keep up with that because it keeps going up all the time. It's probably much more than 5 million right now. Now, our process is not just about the surgical procedure itself. It's also about what goes on before and afterwards. So it's going to take you through the actual sort of finding out what's wrong with you first of all, then prepping you for the operation. And then there's also, in the UK, we use a thing called the World Health Organization checklist, which makes sure that you've actually wheeled the right person into the right operating theatre and you know exactly what the operation is going to be. Then there's a segment of the training module, which is actually about the operation itself. That's the most important, but not the total part of the story, because after the operation, there's also post-op, discharge, and then rehabilitation. And they're all going to be covered in our training process. Our product's accessed for students anywhere. It runs on Oculus, HTC, Samsung Gear, Google Daydream, Google Cardboard. It's designed to run on everything. So it runs on special tethered virtual reality headsets, but it also works on mobile devices as well. That means that anybody on the planet that's got a smartphone can actually see and actually learn from our virtual reality training. Now, in 2015, we actually did the world's first 360-degree VR capture and put it up on YouTube, and I think we're actually approaching in total, around about 150,000 downloads of that. And that was using GoPro cameras, GoPro rig, with all the good things that are associated with that, and all the bad things, like having to stitch everything together. But it actually worked out quite well, but it's a very, as you know, very time-consuming process. Now this year, we actually created a live video, and that was live streamed from the Royal London Hospital in East London, and it went out to a worldwide audience. That's this little video I'm going to show you. Hopefully it plays. The operation was actually done by my co-founder in Medical Realities.
It's from here that a major surgery will be broadcast as it happens around the globe.
Okay, we're live.
And he was, talking to viewers on a feed from the theatre.
So it's about teamwork.
Courtesy of some very powerful lenses. Of course, operations have been filmed and watched before. The difference here is the technology, that 360-degree camera over the operating table, which is now streaming live, allowing viewers to zoom in and out of any part of the theatre. The surgeons even happy to take questions. And in a different kind of theatre nearby, medical students were using their smartphones, headsets and screens to get a view on surgery they hadn't seen before, able to focus where they wanted.
I found it really great because I've been in theatres before and it's often really difficult to have a good view of what's going on, so often you're pushed to the background and you can't see anything.
It would give you the opportunity, if you could see different types of operations that maybe you wouldn't be able to see otherwise, or maybe certain rare operations as well that don't happen as often.
You'll be able to see going in, it's a double cavity.
But for the surgeon at the heart of this initiative, the most exciting news was that medical students from as far afield as Bangladesh were watching, listening and learning. He believes that virtual reality could transform training for doctors in the developing world.
If you want to train at the moment, you might have to move countries, might have to move. It costs money, it costs resource. Actually, trying to move people away. Why not actually transport them virtual reality to another part of the world, like New York, for example, Harvard, or Rome, or London? We've got good surgeons, they learn great quality of care, and maybe improve their standards, and maybe we can learn from them as well. I think it works both ways, actually.
The team behind what's being called VR in the OR intend to keep pushing technological boundaries.
Finish the operation. It's been a success.
But there's relief the patient who featured in their first live stream of is doing well. And believe it or not, he's planning to watch a recording of his surgery as soon as he's able. Michelle Clifford, Sky News, at the Royal London Hospital.
Yes, and that's actually Dr. Shafi Ahmed, my co-founder. And yes, the patient did survive the VR operation and actually was discharged about 7 days later. So that actually went pretty well. Now, Shafi is a consulting training surgeon. So he's actually used to actually sort of talking you through operations and things like that. And I've been working with him now for just over 14 months to try and develop how we can use virtual reality to help him train his students, but also students around the world. We actually gave away cardboard headsets to people from all around the world. I think you saw Bangladesh there, but also in Beijing, in Sydney, in Rio de Janeiro. It literally was seen just about everywhere. The operation went into 142 countries, just over 4,000 cities. It actually created 4.6 million tweets, actually, about the operation, which we were very surprised about. Watching live, as it was going out live, were 54,589 people, because this is all stuff that we could actually sort of check, because the actual sort of virtual reality training we're doing is actually going to be interactive and also a two-way experience. It also generated over another 150,000 views on YouTube, and also was taken up by a broadcast organisation in the UK called Sky TV, and they had 60,000 views just on Sky alone. It actually took us by surprise as to how well it did, and in actual fact, it threatened to take down our servers 2 or 3 times because of the overload. the actual Royal London Hospital is a very big London hospital in East London. It actually has 2,500 people actually working there. And although we run tests to make sure that we had enough bandwidth to actually sort of do our live streaming, we didn't anticipate that all 2,500 people in the hospital were actually going to log on and actually try and view it at the same time. But we just about got away with that. That's only the first stage in what we're doing, because actually you can actually download it and watch it yourself if you go to VR in OR on Apple, Android, or Oculus. You can download it as an app and view it yourself. At the moment, it's just the live streaming of the operation, but that's only the first start of the process. We're wrapping around the 360-degree video lots of other interesting facts and figures, but also CGI animation. The whole thing is designed to be interactive as well, because it's actually, we want to get it into the training curriculums, so that we'll be asking the students questions as well and be able to monitor how they answer those questions. So it's a bit like, I think of virtual reality VR as a sphere, but we're wrapping lots and lots of things around that sphere, in actual fact becoming a bit sort of like a virtual reality onion, because there's lots and lots of transitions that we're going to go through, not only in CGI, but also in, we're actually sort of developing a small laparoscopic 3D camera that can actually go into the patient as well, so you'll be able to see actually inside the patient live as well. As I say, we were surprised at the extent of how many people wanted to see what we were doing. And we got a lot of press in the UK, but also over here in America as well. A lot of news organizations took it, ABC in the States here, but also the BBC in the UK. And I think this actually helped raise awareness. That was one of the reasons that we actually sort of did the live streaming, because although it's fraught with lots of difficulties, and it's actually quite a courageous thing for the surgeon to sort of take on, it was to actually raise awareness about what we're doing, to try and get people interested in virtual reality and using virtual reality. Now, the thing about it is that the students take to it and say, right, this is fantastic. It's brilliant. It's the problem we have is convincing the sort of higher echelons in the medical profession that this is the way to go. And also eventually, we're actually going to turn it into, from live streaming and 360-degree video, we're creating it, so everybody's actually going to be CGI, they're going to be an avatar. So we'll be actually going to be creating virtual operations. So surgeons will also be able to not only train in virtual reality operations, but also try out new procedures. And the thing that we're waiting for is for haptic technology to catch up with us, catch up with what we're doing, because we actually then want to have it so that you can put the headset on, you'll see your hands, you'll be the surgeon, and you can pick up all the scalpels, the sutures. You can do the whole operation as well. So that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for some of the technology to catch up with us. As I say, that's the whole story about medical reality is where we are now. If you want to ask more questions, my email address is steve.dann@medicalrealities. And if you want to download the app, it's VR in OR. And thank you for watching. And have you got any questions?